China has just slapped retaliatory tariffs of 84% on U.S. goods in response to what President Trump has done. 84%.
I mean, okay, here we go. The full-blown trade war. Yeah, prices are going to surge, and who's going to suffer? Not Elon Musk or Peter Navarro.
The Chinese retaliatory tariffs, as you said, are going into effect today, so in about 3 hours' time. But if there's any question as to whether or not the Chinese were going to back down, have a change of heart, and accommodate President Trump, the Chinese laid that to rest by adjusting their tariffs to match President Trump's 50% adjustment. And now the tariff rate for all American goods coming into here is going to be 84%. So in addition to that, the Chinese named 18 companies that would be vulnerable to restrictions under an unreliable entity list, also export control list, so they wouldn't be allowed to source any dual-use items from Chinese suppliers. And this all comes in line with the general messaging that we've heard out of China, and that is that China plans to stand firm. In fact, in a public speech today, his first since the escalation, President Xi Jinping had really try to paint himself as a defender of multilateralism. He also said that he was going to strengthen his ties with neighboring countries. The People's Daily, which is the voice of the Communist Party, ran an op-ed where they were quoting President Xi as saying that the best way to weather the storm is to focus with unwavering determination.
All right, Trumpers, come and get me. Hey, listen, here's the deal. China has just increased their tariffs to 84%, which is also going to make all of our bullshit continue to go up, okay? That means your hats and your hoodies and all your bullshit. We're not even talking about the groceries, but 84%. This is a full-blown trade war at this point in time. And let me tell you another thing. Donald Trump's dumbass, blonde-headed speaker up here saying that Apple can absolutely move all their manufacturing to the U.S. to manufacture iPhones. Do you understand what that labor is going to cost? I used to work for Apple. I understand what that labor costs. I know what people in the Apple stores make. Now, you got to have 1,000 fucking people in a warehouse sitting here making and screwing in iPhones at $20, $25 a head, because that's what we have to make here in the U.S. just to kind of just get by, just to still be able to fucking put the gas and the food on the table. She's lost her fucking mind, and so the fuck is Donald Trump. But these are the incompetent people that you guys voted for and put into office. Because at the end of the day, that dumb blonde bitch is stupid as fuck, and so is Donald Trump, and they're just off their fucking meds. So hey, Magus, thanks for fucking us. Apple will never manufacture iPhones here. It's too fucking costly, and then if they do, your fucking iPhones are $2,000 a pop at this point in time. So continue believing the dumb fucking shit that comes out of them two whack jobs' mouth in Washington's. Fuck them.
China has just slapped retaliatory tariffs of 84%.
China has a lot to say about these tariffs. I want to translate what the Chinese news said today. If you want this smoke, I will give it to you. I don't play about my folks right here, and we're not afraid of you. We will bootleg everything in the U.S. We have the right to do that, and we don't give a damn about how you feel. You want to destroy our economy? We could do it better, because we can make everything cheaper. Even with tariffs, we'll screw you. You want these hands? I'm not going to give you these hands. But I'm going to hurt you as a people. You want a tariff war? You want us to square up and squabble up? My name ain't Kendrick Lamar, but I'm with it. I don't play about mine. You're not willing to talk about this. You want to play games. You want these hands? I'm going to take the pockets, the money. I'm going to hurt you. They saying, you know what? Jay-Z said in his song a long time ago he had to cut off his girlfriend because she was bootlegging his stuff. We are going to stop policing that, and we are about to do you in. You want to play with it? We do calculus in kindergarten. We know your language and ours. Believe we are way ahead of you. We got space cadets that we're driving. Don't play with us. I didn't want this smoke, but you asked for it, and I'm going to give it to you. I just hope you and your people are ready to play with us, because we don't play fair. We have been prepping our whole lives since kindergarten to not squabble up like this, to do it intellectually, but play with it. Y'all, it's about to get deep. I wonder what we got to say about this.
Good morning. China woke up and said we did not come to play this Wednesday morning, April 9th, 2025, because they just slapped a retaliatory tariff of 84% on U.S. goods in response to Trump's. So China's Office of Tariff Commission on the State Council said the tariffs on U.S. goods would rise from 34% to 84% on April the 10th, which is tomorrow. The latest tariff hike on goods from China rose to 104% after the advisory did not meet Trump's deadline to remove its 34% retaliatory tariffs on American goods. But China says they are fighting back. They didn't come to play. And the press secretary said yesterday that if they bite, Trump's going to come back and bite harder. So this is just going to keep going back and forth. So y'all be prepared to pay higher. And the ones that's going to suffer is us. But that's the latest update. Nothing's good going to come out of this. But that's the latest update.
Okay, you guys, this fucking grandpa is getting on my last nerve. As I was doing my Resurrect for the video, I came across articles that said that Donald Trump backed down from tariffs for other countries, then raised China's tariffs again this afternoon. I was like, this is so stupid. This man is making America look like a damn clown show. I can't believe that he wants the upper hand. China is not backing down and they are ready to do a tariff war with America. When is this clown going to sit the hell down and put the tariff back down to 10%? This is not affecting him and his billionaire buddies. It is affecting the common people, you and me. This is going to send America into another Great Depression. When Trump stopped the tariffs for 90 days for other countries, not China, the stock market shot up. Because I guess the stock market was crashing. I wonder what China is going to hit America next with. 125% is a lot. Like people on TikTok in the comment sections be saying people vote against their own interest. This is not only hurting people who did not vote for him, it affects those who voted him the hardest. This is a damn clown show. The world is laughing at America. But hell, what do I know? I am just a talking head. I just hope I do not need anything coming out of China.
President Trump making big news this afternoon. He's just announced a 90-day pause on tariffs for many countries around the world. In a Truth Social post here, it's a lengthy one. I'm going to read it to you. The president said, based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125%, effective immediately. At some point, he said, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, that's the U.S. Trade Representative, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade, trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States. I have authorized, the president says here, a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Hey players, we got breaking news from Devil is a Lie Social, because of course we know the Frumpy Dump administration does everything on Devil is a Lie Social or Twitter. So Frumpy Dump has taken to Devil is a Lie Social to exercise his tiny fingers to decree and declare that he is responding to China's 84% tariffs with 125% tariffs. However, if you go down the rabbit hole a little bit, you will see that Frumpy Dump has authorized a 90-day pause on tariffs on all other countries. Now, he decrees and declares that they are reaching out and trying to negotiate with him, so he's going to pause for 90 days on those tariffs. But on China, he's going up. So Frumpy Dump says, in part, based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world markets, I am hereby raising the tariffs charged to China by the United States to 125%, effective immediately. He also says that based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lower reciprocal tariff during the period of 10%, also effective immediately. So this is the latest happenings with Frumpy Dump's self-inflicted tariff war. According to reporting, the market is showing some improvement since he announced the 90-day pause. This is all just absolutely disturbing, ridiculous, and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. And again, it's self-inflicted. Frumpy Dump negotiated the last trade deal. This was his own doing. And President Biden did not touch what Frumpy Dump had negotiated. But he has chosen to do this and put the market in free fall. And it's going to continue. And according to reporting, we could be in a recession by the end of the year thanks to Frumpy Dump and his once again failing negotiation tactics. We have seen this over and over again. Frumpy Dump did this in his last administration and it failed to the tune of $39 billion that farmers had to be bailed out by the government. So he's doing it again. All right, players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mo for the Black Accurate News.
All right, also in breaking news, Donald Trump has raised the tariff limit from 104% to 125% on China after they responded this morning by raising the United States tariff to 84%. China don't give a fuck. It's a tariff for tariff with this.
President Trump just backed down on tariffs, but he also escalated on tariffs at the same time. He just posted this to a social media account. It's a little vague and confusing, so I'm going to take it one thing at a time. Let's start with the backing down part. Trump said he has authorized a 90-day pause on those so-called kind reciprocal tariffs. It appears he means he is going to pause those reciprocal tariffs that were put on lots of countries around the world, as he indicated on that big board last week. The president said instead of certain countries being hit with all these different percentage of tariffs, all countries would see a flat 10% tariff. That is effective immediately. However, the Treasury Secretary said those 25% tariffs that Trump already put on things like energy from Canada and autos from Canada and Mexico, those would still stay. Trump says he's pulling back those kind reciprocal tariffs for 90 days because, according to him, 75 different countries have called the White House to make some sort of deal. Now, it's important to understand none of those deals are done. And the Treasury Secretary said it's going to take some time to make those deals because they are bespoke deals, meaning different deals for every single country. But there's one country that has not called to negotiate. As I said yesterday, that country is China. And that is where things are escalating. You know, at midnight tonight, those 104% tariffs on China began. How we got there? Back in February, Trump put 10% tariffs on China. In March, he put another 10% tariff on China. He said those were because of fentanyl. Then, last week, during that Rose Garden ceremony, he put 34% tariffs on China. When China saw that number, they said, we're going to put 34% tariffs on U.S. imports going into China. And because of that move, President Trump this week said, we're going to slap an additional 50% tariff on China. That's how you get to 104%, which took effect at midnight. But that's not where this story ends. China this morning said because of these two numbers, now they are going to put 84% tariff on U.S. goods going into China. And as a result of this, President Trump said, forget 104%. Now China is going to get 125% tariffs. Now, as I said yesterday, China is one of the top 3 trading partners with the United States. We import a lot from China. And if you add a 125% tariff on all that stuff, things are going to get expensive for all of us. Now, it is possible that for the next 90 days, now that those reciprocal tariffs are reduced down to every other country other than China to 10%, U.S. importers may start trying to rework their supply chains to avoid Chinese imports and instead import goods from all these other countries. Now, that cannot happen for everything, but it could happen for some things. But here's the thing. Businesses, especially small businesses in the United States, want certainty. They planned this stuff months in advance, and turning this tariff light switch on and off and on and off is the definition of uncertainty. This is not good for business. And the other important question is the president used extraordinary power last week when he announced these kind reciprocal tariffs. He said the trade deficit was a national emergency and that it was necessary for him to use this emergency power. But the legal question is, if there's an emergency, then why is there a 90-day pause? Do we have an emergency or not? And if there's no emergency, then does he actually have the power to impose these reciprocal tariffs in the first place?
Trump may be more petty than 50 Cent. So people on social media are reacting that Trump has now only left tariffs on China, stating that the other countries are not going to face tariffs for the next 90 days because they all have complied and are in negotiations with him. But because China wants to keep on going, he about to up it to 125%. It basically going back and forth because Trump just recently updated it to 104%. And China said, oh yeah, we'll meet you with 84%. Now Trump talking about say less. We about to hit you at 125 and we just finna keep going higher and higher until someone give up. It got so bad that Apple started secretly moving phones through airplanes. Them boys said they ain't trying to pay the tariffs. They got 5 planes, filled them up with iPhones and started flying them to the U.S. so they don't got to pay tariffs. I'm not sure if this is public information or this wasn't supposed to be released to the public, but the way I'm seeing some of these articles writing it, I don't think no one was supposed to know about this. Regardless, do you guys feel like Trump is tripping, or do you guys agree with others that are stating that Trump is basically showing that when you don't back down, you get what you want? Hey, you guys argue that. I'm just here to report the news.